Algebra 2, Lesson 102, Sums of Functions and Products of Functions. So, really quick recap. We know that a function can be written with any letter and a set of parentheses and then a value or a formula for the function. So, for example, I could say that the function h of x is equal to x plus 3, right? And then I could also say that the function g of x is equal to 2x squared plus 5. Now, what we're going to learn today is the sum of functions. So, what we would write here is we would write function h plus function g of x, right? So this is called the sum of functions. So the question is, how in the world do I do this? What does this mean? This just means that we take the function of h and we add it to the function of g, and then we plug in the number x. So I'll start by taking function h, x plus 3, and then I'll add it to function g, 2x squared plus 5. And all I'm going to use here is the rules of like terms. If they're like terms, I can add them. If they're not, I cannot. So x and x squared are not like terms, so this is just going to become 2x squared plus x. 3 and 5 are like terms, so that gives me 8. So I've got 2x squared plus x plus 8. Now this is h plus g, right? So that is what this equals. This is h plus g of x. Now if I wanted to do h plus g of 5, then I have to add an extra step. So I would do the same thing I did here. I'd take function h, I'd add it to function g in terms of x. And then if I wanted to find the sum of the functions, excuse me, if I had to find the sum of the functions equal to 5, then everywhere there's an x, I would plug in a number 5. So I would rewrite this. Let's switch colors real quick. So I take the 5 and I would rewrite this as 2 times 5 squared plus parentheses 5 plus 8. Okay, so 5 squared is 25. So that's 25. 25 times 2 is 50. So then 50 plus 5 plus 8, I get 55 and then 63. And that is my answer. Okay, so we'll do... So that's actually sum of functions. I'll do one more example from the top so you guys can see how it all works. Let's see here. Let's take... We'll rotate the page. Let's say we have the function h of x is equal to x plus 3. And let's say theta of x, and don't get scared by funny symbols. That's just, it's a Greek letter instead of an American alphabet letter. So it's just the function of theta instead of the function of h, or if you don't know the Greek alphabet, you'd say function of funny looking symbol. But understand the notation works the same. So let's say we have the function theta of x is equal to x squared minus 6. And then we need to find, they want to find h plus theta set to the number 2. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take the two functions, we're going to add them together. So if I take x squared, x squared plus x plus 3 minus 6, which is both of these functions together. I kind of wrote them out of order. Then I can add the like terms. So then I get x squared plus x minus 3. Okay, so now this is the function h plus theta, but now I have to plug in the 2. So let's plug in the 2. So that's 2 squared plus 2 minus 3. 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. So my final answer is 3. Next, we're going to talk about products of functions. So let's go back to our original analogy. We've got, let me see here, where was it? Yeah, we've got the function h of x is equal to x plus 3, and then we've got the function g of x is equal to 2x squared plus 5. And let's say they want you to find h times g of x. right? So the way that I would multiply these is I would just take each function, put it in a set of parentheses, x plus 3 times this function, 2x, whoops, I almost wrote cubed, squared, plus 5, and then I would multiply them, right? And so I'm going to use the FOIL method. So the first times the first, x times 2x squared, going to give me 2x cubed. X times 5 is going to give me plus 5x. And then we've got 3 times 2x squared is going to give me plus 6x squared. And then 3 times 5 is going to give me 15. Now, are there any like terms here? No, there are not. So this is as simple as this can get. Now, let's say they want you to take h times g and set it to the number 3. So this function that I just found when I FOILed h and g, I'm going to take everywhere there's an x, I'm going to plug in a 3 instead. So this will become 2 times 3 cubed plus 5 times 3 plus 6 times 3 squared plus 15. So now I simplify. 3 cubed is 27. 27 times 2 is 54. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 2 is 9. Times 6 is 54. And then plus 15 again. So now we just add. 15 plus 15 is 30. 54 plus 54 is 108. 108 plus 30 is 138. And that is my answer. Let's see here. Yeah, that's it. So that's how you multiply and add functions. If you have any questions, let me know on Moodle, and I will see you in class.